again, everybody out there in the social media world. Joe Emer here at the Fox 10 Jet Deck alongside Sean Dietrich, Sean of the South. Sean, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we are doing a Facebook Live now to tell you about Sean here and some of the work that he's done, but also talking about the United Way. Today is the campaign kickoff for the United Way, and we are strongly encouraging people to get involved and donate in whatever way you can, especially during these hard times. So Sean, let's talk a little bit about you. You have done a lot of work. A lot of people know you here throughout the South and throughout the nation. Tell us a little bit about this latest novel. Let's start with that.
The latest book that I had come out was called Will the Circle Be Unbroken, and it was a memoir about my life, which kind of more or less plays out like a giant train wreck. So I guess the takeaway from it would be learning how to believe you're going to be okay, even though you know, things aren't going great. So in a nutshell, that's what it's about. That's about all I can tell you about it.
So are all the things in this book, are they true things? Are they embellished a little bit? Tell me a little bit about that aspect of it.
Well, I like to say that about 90% of what I write is true, and about 90% of what I write could be true. So you'll have to do the math.
Yeah.
The truth is, this one is about my life, pretty much to the T. And then Mobile's in the book too, actually. But no, this is a personal story, and this was one that was kind of hard to tell, actually. So.
Hard to tell. You know, you've written so much, and your articles have appeared all over Newsweek, Southern Living, Garden and Gun, all these different places that these articles have appeared. Tell me why you wanted to take that personal approach and tell a hard story to tell.
Well, because it takes a long time, in my mind, to get to a place where your perspective is removed from your own personal experience. And when you're down here going through it, you tend to tell a story or process what you're going through in a very different way. Whereas when you're back here above, maybe from a third person angle, you can see things a little more objectively with a little less, you don't personalize it as much. And so you can actually maybe learn a little bit more about yourself and perhaps find a common thread of goodness that you never knew was there. And it takes a lot of time to detach from those personal situations to get there. So that I felt like I was ready. It took me a little too long to get ready, but I was ready, and that's why I chose the personal approach.
Well, you know what I think is really neat is these type of stories that you're talking about and taking time and going through some ups and downs. That's exactly why we're talking about United Way today, because so many people need some help. They need some assistance, especially during this time of the pandemic when so much is going on. Tell us why you wanted to be here today to help us and help support the United Way.
United Way is important, immensely important. I think their lineage here back in Mobile goes back 109 years. I could be misquoting that by a few years, but not many. The organization itself is extremely old, historic, but also benevolent. I believe right now, in this period we're living in, people need more help than they've ever needed before. And I think now is a good time for those who have to help those who have not, especially because some of the recipients this year were actually some of the donors last year. So people are swapping roles in our society, and I think it's time for good people to step up and just be nice.
Isn't that amazing what you pointed out there? Some of the recipients may have been donors last year, so you never know where your donation's going to go. It could be helping a friend, it could be helping a family member, a loved one, or potentially you down the road if things take a turn in one way or another. So it's important to give if you can. With some of the tough times that you've experienced, how helpful do you think it is for folks like that to not receive a handout, but just get a helping hand, something to help them step up through this tough time?
Well, the way that I grew up was we were definitely kind of underprivileged there for a good part of my life, and you have no idea how many times a helping hand comes along and helps you through some life event. You have no idea how that impacts the way you perceive the world, not just the way that your life is, but the way that you see the world around you. I think the way to make a better world is to just help one person, two people, as many people as you can. And I believe it spreads like a domino and effect in a gymnasium. I believe it's important.
Such a great message there, and we asked you earlier, and you basically said Google it, so we'll say that again. If you want to find Sean Dietrich, Sean of the South, if you want to find some of the things that he's written, including this latest book, all you have to do is search his name, and that will bring up all the links for you. We'll also post something here on fox10tv.com for you. But let's talk about ways you can donate to United Way. That's what this day is all about, right? Finding ways that you can potentially volunteer your time if you don't have the money to do so, or volunteer money if you can contribute. You see it on the screen, 3 ways you can call that number. Text, a lot of people prefer the text method because it's easier. All you have to do is text Give United 20 to 41444, or you can find their website, United Way of Southwest Alabama, online too, and we'll have links to all of that on fox10tv.com. Sean of the South, thank you for joining us here in the South. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate your message of positivity. Any last thing you want to say to the fans out there?
No, except whatever you do, just do it good.
Whatever you do it good. Wise words from a man, Sean of the South here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this Facebook Live, and have a great day. We'll continue our support of United Way all day long here on Fox 10.